Hi, welcome to Chat with Sonlight. Like Sonlight's curriculum offerings, we will explore homeschooling through the lens of a literature-based, Christ-centered education. Join us for everything you might be interested in for organizing your homeschool, connecting with others, and details on literature-based learning, and maybe a few sneak peeks.
Hi, welcome to Chat with Sonlight. About a year ago, Sunny and I came and we aired our first Chat with Sonlight episode. And we talked about where Chat with Sonlight might go, what we might want to do. We wanted to have stories from you guys. So we did in the course of this year. We had several of our Sonlight moms that joined me. We talked about behind the scenes. We did the Inquisikid film team. That was a hoot. That was one of my first behind the scenes. Probably did not do as behind the scenes as you wanted. So I would love to know if you want to see more. Sunny has been with me on several of these episodes. Sunny, out of this year, can you think of any episode that was your favorite that I know you did a lot with Sarita. And so yours are our Chat with Sarita. She gets the privilege of talking with her every month. Do you have a favorite that you did?
Ooh, I loved Sarita's book reviews. Those were some of my favorites. When we started the year, she would just pick a book and a few days later we would record. So I did not have time to read all of those. I might get a chapter or two in before we got started. But then there was one that it was when we did Why Not Women. She actually gave me the title. She's like, I've just started reading this. Read it and let me know if you think it would be a good podcast. And so I got to read that one first and we discussed it. And I loved that conversation because it just, since I now had read the book myself and learned things, I felt like I understood the book so much better and was able to contribute to that conversation more. And so then going forward on any of the book reviews, I would read them ahead of time. She would give me plenty of advance notice. Sarita reads like a book or two a day. So I read a lot, but nothing at the same pace she does. So she started giving me a couple weeks at least to get those books read so that I could join in the conversation more. And so by the end of the year, I feel like it's been a more collaborative approach to our Chat with Sarita podcasts, which have been so fun because I think if I was just listening to the podcast to know the heart of who Sarita is and why she founded Sonlight, this company that really has changed education and lives for most of us that are involved with Sonlight, just to get to know her better in those Chat with Sarita episodes, I think has been so fun and hopefully great for everybody listening too, because I know it's had a huge impact on me. And I think if I was just listening, it would too. But I also loved your episodes where you talked to people behind some of the books in the curriculum, whether it be like a math program or Greg Johnson, who wrote BBC Bible College Manual, which is one of our books. I'm a total bookworm and a nerd, and I love hearing about how these programs come to be and then how they end up becoming the product that they are that we end up using with our kids. So all of those were super fun for me.
You say that. My favorite, I think, was having my interview with Steve Demme. I love talking to him on conventions. I love just chit-chatting with him, and he is as funny in person as he is on our kids' math videos. And I just loved hearing his heart behind, how it all began, and that he was once a struggling homeschool dad, just like I would say the average family. That's looking at, do we reduce income? What do we do with our kids? I loved it. I know one of the favorites, one of our more watched ones, was our updates for 2023, the curriculum updates. So just know, come 2024, I will get our product development team in and we will talk about what's coming up for 2024 when they finalize it. So I'm looking forward to hearing what will come. One of our favorites in Sonlight this year, overall, all of Sonlight, in our community, our YouTube, I will say that we enjoyed a year with Carl Azus.
Yes.
He was a lot of fun. He was actually on our podcast once. He came and visited us at a convention, but we loved all his videos. You need to let him know we want him back. So
Yes, he's one, I think, like Steve Demme, that in person is just as funny as he is on camera. We had great conversations. All three of us actually got to be at convention together in Atlanta this year, which was super fun. And I had a great time actually interacting with him throughout the day. But yeah, if you have not found his show yet, he is doing The World from A to Z with Carl Azus, which is a daily news show. I know my kids have been using it for their Sonlight current events, and it's been great. But yeah, we would absolutely love the door is always open for Carl to come back and do more for our Sonlight audience because he's also a Sonlight dad. And so he knows what is in our curriculum, and I think everybody really enjoys him. He's a lot of fun.
Speaking of podcast, we also have Sonlight Connections podcast. I think you had a total of about 24, 25 episodes this year. And while they're not as live and as candid as Chat with Sonlight, they are definitely our favorites because they're the ones that we want to re-listen to and re-listen to. I can't pick a favorite with Sonlight Connections.
I was going to say there's so many. I know some of the hot topics, anything addressing burnout, those usually do pretty well. Or how do you teach multiple kids? I think sometimes we're like, oh yeah, we can teach that one child who's our obedient kid that listens well, but what do we do when the toddler's screaming or you have a newborn or anything like that? So I think those sessions do pretty well. But yeah, I look at Sonlight Connections as kind of, these are your informational, like you said, Jana, the ones that you're going to come back to if you're having a problem or an issue where you need encouragement, that's the place to go. And then Chat with Sonlight are the fun, behind the scenes, get to know the heart of Sonlight a little more. So if you're stumbling upon one of the podcasts, that's kind of how I look at them, is they're very different in feel and flavor and what is happening on each one. So you should probably listen to both, but if you're looking for something specific, that's how I would find it.
So Sunny, every month, pretty much during the school year, we do a helps and hacks for all our families. We start in August, September, and we go through till May, but we end it with a big summit. So we did a summit in June. We had thousands of you guys join us, which was awesome, or at least register and then watch us afterwards because we know you're busy. And it was summer. It was June. You should be at the pool unless you live in an area where you don't go to the pool in June. So what else did we do? We did extra lives. What did we do?
Yeah, so the Sonlight Connections app, we rolled out a brand new platform for our app in January of 2023. And so this gave us more opportunities to bring in lives from our mentor team. That is a group of experienced Sonlight moms. They provide so much insight and advice. I always feel like I walk away from our conversations learning more, trying new things. I could not even tell you how many things I've implemented in my own homeschool after talking to mentors and hearing how they did it. But yeah, they do weekly lives in that app. They do sessions. Of course, you mentioned Homeschool Helps. We air those in the app. It's a great community. If you are not on social media, don't want to be on social media, you are really just looking for the chance to connect with other Sonlighters. And you can do that easily in the app. But yeah, this app, it's newer. We're constantly adding new things to it. John, I know you work with the team on the design side as far as like what features they're going to give us that allow us to do next. But yeah, that app has definitely come a long way from what it started as. So if you have not dropped into the app in a while, definitely come back and check it out. And if there's anything you want to see or need help with, we're all there. And it's a little more personal, I think, the one-on-one connection with each other, and you're able to get answers quicker and find out what you need to know immediately, which I really like.
I love it that the Sonlight Connections app, I know that all the moms in there have taken the time to either purchase or be a member of Sonlight. We know that they're Sonlight moms. So you're going to get moms that are actually using Sonlight or actively seeking to use Sonlight. Mm-hmm. We have that newbies group that we have for if you're a brand new Sonlighter. So we graduated our 2022-2023 class. We have a new class, we're calling them. They're 2023-24. It's always nice to be there for all the questions when you open up that big binder, or if you forgot to ask for it to be assembled. You know, what do I do? There's all these things. What do I do with it? And I love just that freshness of moms. And to me, it rejuvenates me to talk to those new moms because I'm like, oh, I remember when my kids were little, and it makes me feel like I'm still in the trenches with them. And I love that. So Sunny, last year in 2023, we did a school choice week. And what was school choice week? It was geared towards?
That is geared towards new to homeschooling families, something that we decided to do during School Choice Week was invite all of our current Sonlighters to share why they love homeschooling with Sonlight on social media, out in the world. The goal with that being that, one, we'd love to hear what you love about Sonlight. That constantly helps us improve products and make sure that we're still on track with what our Sonlighters want. But the other reason is that it allows your friends out there who maybe are unhappy with their child's current school situation to see, oh, look, maybe I can homeschool. My friend over there loves it because of all of these reasons. Maybe I should consider it. And that idea kind of stemmed from the fact that I, long before I worked for Sonlight, was always raving about Sonlight on my own social media, like, oh my gosh, guess what we learned today? This is so cool. And people started contacting me on my friends list, like, oh, hey, I know you homeschool. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And so during School Choice Week, that was something that we wanted to get the word out. Maybe you have friends who don't realize you homeschool and they're really dissatisfied with their child's current education, whether that be like an IEP that's not being, those needs are not being met in their school, or maybe they're just in a bad school situation. There are so many reasons that kids end up getting pulled to homeschool, but we want to make it easier for them, because at Sonlight, we don't just sell the curriculum, we also want to support all of you on your journey as you homeschool. You're not doing it alone. We will get in the trenches with you. A lot of us are still homeschooling ourselves. And so it's something that if you're new to homeschooling and it feels like this big, scary thing, we want you to know it's okay. We're here to help you. We will guide you along the way. It's a lot easier than you think it is initially. And so we ran this event last January during School Choice Week, because that's a big time where on social media, whether it's a private school, charter school, public school, homeschool, people are getting the word out that you do have a choice in how you educate your kids. They don't have to go to the local public school. That's not the only option. And so we did a very starter intro event, like, okay, I think I might want to homeschool. What do I need to do first? How do I find out my state laws? How do I pull my child from school? What do I do about curriculum? All of those very, very beginner questions that all of us had at one point, but in one event, so that you could invite your friends to watch that, and then they would be able to find out if that was something they were interested in. It went really well. A lot of people ended up choosing to go with Sonlight, which was very exciting for us. Of course, we want that, but I kind of love to get the message out there that homeschooling is amazing. And so the more people that homeschool, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I know that's been a very positive impact in my own family. And so that's something I get excited to see. And so, yeah, we will probably be doing something else this year during School Choice Week as well. That's the third or fourth week in January, typically. So watch for announcements. If you're listening and you love homeschooling with Sonlight and you've had some homeschool successes, make sure you stay tuned and share that. Last year, we gave out free t-shirts to everybody who participated. Haven't decided yet what we're doing this year, but definitely, share the word, get the word out there about how amazing homeschooling is, because we would love to see more people embrace that life.
And speaking of homeschool successes, if you have your own personal story, or you know somebody and you want us to share, and you want to be on Chat with Sonlight, or you just want to share a photo or something. I don't know if you guys all know this. On your back office in sonlight.com, you can upload your photo and a testimony or a quote, and feel free to add that and share that with Sonlight, or tag us with hashtag Sonlight Stories, and we can pick it up. But we would love for you just to interact with us and just let us know, this is what I want to share, and send it to us. And you can also email that at connections@sonlight.com. And we would get it as well. Sunny and I get that email. One of our last things, speaking of School Choice Week, one of the perks that they did, I think we had a coupon with it, but it was like our switch coupon. If you know somebody that's switching, that they can use this, you can contact Sonlight about using a switch coupon. If you've never used Sonlight before and you want to join the Sonlight Nation, the community, and be a Sonlighter, you can get a coupon, but just reach out to an advisor or to one of our salespeople, and they can get you a coupon if you're interested. Speaking of coupons, where do you tend to find the coupons? Conventions. And where did I think we went to 20 different conventions this last year, and I was at, I think 7 or 8 of them. So I went to a few. I was as far as California and St. Louis, and I think North Carolina was my farthest east, and I ended at Atlanta, so close to home. And we even got Sunny to come to one of our conventions. She finally got to come to one. Teased her for a long time. She'd never been to a real convention.
Yeah, I had never been to one, not since I was the student.
Right. Okay, as the mom.
Yeah, as the mom. So yeah, that was really exciting. I loved it. I had a great time hanging out with everybody. I didn't sleep much that weekend, but getting the chance to talk to people and seeing the wide range at convention. I don't think I realized how many would be like brand new to Sonlight, all the way up to I've graduated. I'm now here with my grandchildren. So yeah, it was really cool to actually talk face to face with people at convention.
We just wanted to just let you know all the things that we did as a community, as a Sonlight community, from our app to our podcast, to our online events, to conventions. And if you have ideas for us that we can make our community stronger and better, we want to know. So thank you so much for making Chat with Sonlight the success it has been this year. We reached out to, I think we have 8 countries we reach out to with Chat with Sonlight. And so that just makes me a little giddy that it goes out that far. And I appreciate every single one of my listeners. Thank you very much. Sunny?
Yeah, thank you. Like Jonna said, if you have ideas or there's something you want to hear, reach out to us. Jonna and I are incredibly accessible that way, and we want to talk about what you want to hear about. So it's not just all about us or what we think would be good topics. We've both homeschooled a long time, so we may not be thinking about some of the things that are impacting you right now because we're beyond that stage. But if there's something that is really something you want to hear about and you want to hear about it from Sonlight, let us know that, and it might become a future Helps and Hacks episode or a Chat with Sonlight episode on the podcast or something like that. So yeah, we're always taking ideas and would love to hear them. We want to speak to what matters to you. And I am also so glad to have this community here. It has been such a blast to hang out with my people, who speak the Sonlight language, and find out more about how you all are homeschooling your kids. That has helped me tremendously in my own homeschool. And I'm so glad to be here with all of you. So yeah, let's keep the community strong, keep sending us ideas, and tell us what you want to know about.
Bye, friends.
Thank you for joining us today. Do you have an idea for a podcast topic? Or do you want to chat with Sonlight on an upcoming episode? Email us at connections@sonlight.com.